Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is Combat Sports News for the 27th of November 2018. I'm LK from KocoSports.net. That's KoCoSports.net. That's where the world goes to kick ass for combat sports. And above all, it's okay to be a passionate fan. I'm losing my voice. No, I'm not. I need a bit of a cough. Throat was drier than a nun. Oh, geez, that was a disgraceful comment. I do apologize, but live as well. I can't edit it. Just finished watching SmackDown live. So going to do a results / mini breakdown of the show. If you're listening live, Internet Infantry, please feel free to put in the live comments your thoughts on this show. We'll read once you finish breaking down the bad boy. Win, loss, or tie are the three things we always ask on this channel, and we always will. Please put that. My personal opinion, I give the show a tie. I gave Raw a loss last night. Go watch that video yet if you have not. Just want to put it out there that fans around the world have been saying that that was the worst episode of Monday Night Raw this year, and if not ever. And I can understandably reason with them. It makes a lot of sense. So if you did not like Raw, don't blame me. SmackDown was a lot better. I'm going to give this show a tie. I enjoyed it a lot more than last night's Raw, if I can be frank. And there was quite a bit that you can kind of take away from this show. I like what they're doing with the women's division. I'm very excited for what they're doing with the women's division. I'm sorry about my voice, it's just really going. But we'll kick off the show. So Paige starts off. She brings out Becky Lynch. We haven't seen Becky Lynch on TV in 2 weeks, making it sound like a big deal. The big return, but do we have 15 programs a week? So really it is, if you actually consume all their programming, it is a while since you've seen Becky Lynch, because a week will feel like an eternity if you watch a show a day. I mean, if you really break it down, you have Raw 3 hours, SmackDown 2 hours, NXT UK 205, main event, Total Divas if you're on that bandwagon, Total Bellas if that's still going on, house shows, streaming content, their YouTube page, their social media. It is a lot to consume. It is a network. I know they have their own network, but their whole fucking company just has so many damn programs. But Becky Lynch comes out, the most over wrestler in WWE right now. Her and Seth Rollins, in my opinion, are the two most over wrestlers in the WWE right now, and it was crazy how over she was. So Lynch comes out, she says, basically screw you WWE for holding me back, not allowing me to compete at Survivor Series against Ronda Rousey. Obviously Charlotte took her place, so she was kind of putting the blame on the company again, doing that. People are referring to her as the Steve Austin of the WWE right now, maybe doing that authority story. Lynch then demands Charlotte to come out. She comes out. Charlotte says she didn't wrestle Ronda Rousey for Becky Lynch. She wrestled because her being her, it was the only one in her opinion who could take Ronda Rousey, and she give or take did it Survivor Series. And then Paige announces Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch at TLC for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship in a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the first time. Even though their match at Evolution, their last women's standing match, had tables, had ladders, had chairs in. But that's just being nitpicky. Like the fact we're doing this. I don't keep on saying this first ever thing. It's not unusual now for women to be in high-profile matches. It's not unusual for a woman to be involved in a last man standing, a cage, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber. Can we not keep labeling it and tagging it as first time ever? I think that's one nitpick I would. Just let it happen organically. My biggest concern is at WrestleMania. Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch is a match which, in my opinion, could main event WrestleMania with the right hype, the right build. And the media, Ronda Rousey could do great media appearances, and Becky Lynch at the level she's at, the MMA community talk about Becky Lynch on lots of podcasts and videos. Pro wrestling, people talk about Becky Lynch a lot, so she could be a great asset to WrestleMania. But I don't know. I wouldn't like if it was the main event if they kept hyping it as first time ever, women's main event WrestleMania. Just let it happen organically and naturally. It feels a lot more special. You don't have to keep saying it. And then Iconics, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega come out, and they're insulted how Charlotte's getting all this praise and all these opportunities, and they've pretty much got jack shit. Makes sense. And then Naomi come out, Alana and Asuka, they come out. Asuka make her over with this crowd, which is great. Paige then announces a battle royal. Winner gets added to a Charlotte versus Lynch at TLC, so it'll be a three-way tables, ladders, and chairs match at the TLC pay-per-view for the SmackDown Women's Belt. I was okay with this. It got the full roster out. They got them some airtime. Interesting to see as well that Love had that was split. They didn't just come out one by one because that would have taken 15 years. They came out in groups, so you kind of understand who's who. Charlotte didn't really. I don't get why she has a title match. If again being nitpicky, I don't get why she has a title match because she didn't beat Ronda Rousey. She lost by DQ technically. I don't understand why she has a title match, but they made the Bar versus the Usos non-title match on the Twitter machine. That's how we create stories these days. The Bar pretty much put out an open challenge, so accepted, so non-title. And one thing I like about SmackDown that doesn't happen on Raw, and I was watching this on a nice and good stream. I watched the USA Network version, and when the adverts are popping up, so basically imagine the screen. Half of it is SmackDown and half is the adverts. And the smart thing is, and I don't understand why advertisers don't do this, especially during sports events. They should do this in soccer, NFL. I think UFC could be great at this. During the shows, when I watch adverts normally, when I'm watching TV live, which is a rarity because I'm an on-demand guy, when I'm watching my normal television, I'm on my Netflix, I'm on my Now TV, I'm on my, even I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. If this is in the UK and you know that show is, I watch on ITV Hub on delay. I don't like watching things live. I don't know why, I just haven't. I just don't. I've gotten into that natural habit, and I can watch it when it suits me rather than, having to rush around and fucking my schedule up just for a television show. Speaking of that, Suits, I've been bumming that recently. Doesn't know, digressing. Combat sports. Right. Where was I? Television adverts. Tangent, stop. So, when I'm watching Raw, when the adverts came on, boom, I was on my phone. I was, whether it was, talking to my mates, whether it was fucking, watching videos on YouTube, whether it was on my Twitter machine, whether I was on Instagram, whether I was, doing anything, it was that on my phone. But with SmackDown, with those adverts, yes, the adverts were 3/4 of the screen, but a quarter of the screen was still SmackDown. And I was watching the SmackDown and hearing the adverts. So I'm hearing these advertisements rather than being on my phone, taking my headphones out because I'm, on my phone. I think companies should do that more. Generally think they should. This was a good match. I'm glad we didn't get the New Day versus Bar because I think we've seen that too many times. But Uso, there was some crazy spots in there. Uso did a running dive over the top mid-air Cesaro uppercut. There was this great spot where Uso went for a crossbar off the top, Sheamus knees up in a cradle for a good near fall, which the crowd bit for. And then the super kick plus a splash off the top got the win for the Usos. Good match here. Enjoyed it. Great pacing. Good way to kick off the show wrestling-wise. Presumably, we're going to get the Usos versus the Bar at TLC for the SmackDown tag titles. I wish it was a ladder match. I hope it's a ladder match. I know they always do a TLC match, a ladder match, chair match, as well as a tables match. And I hope they don't put it as a tables. I hope they do a ladder match. I think that'd be really great. Let me go backstage. New Day are laughing at The Miz for losing to the local talent last week. Miz says he could beat all three of them. And he's going to talk to Shane for a match tonight, sorry. At least they're promoting a match. I did complain about that on Raw last night. I said that they're not promoting enough matches, so they're kind of promoting it. Speaking of promotion, AJ Styles came out. I wish they promoted this, and had it at the top of the hour. But they're doing AJ versus Bryan at TLC for the WWE Championship. Interesting. AJ's come out. He's pissed off at Daniel Bryan for attacking him post-match as he wasn't medically cleared to even be at Survivor Series, apparently. He then takes a dig at Daniel Bryan, saying he wasn't at house shows, wasn't at SmackDown Live tonight, and then Bryan needs to stop watching Raw. And as WWE Champion, he never missed a show or a SmackDown Live. It then goes on, the WWE title belongs to me. I'll win it back at TLC. And then he launched the mic hard at the canvas. Like the passion and anger in the delivery from AJ in this promo, kind of like a pit bull. And I think that's when AJ's at his best in his promo work, especially, and even in in-ring work. When he gets intense, he's so fucking great. So good promo. Building with AJ Bryan without them getting physical. I respect that. Then we had Nakamura attacking Rusev. Again, Nakamura versus Rusev, presumably at TLC. Both are doing nothing, so yeah. But no, thing is, Rusev, I haven't seen him for a while, so fingers crossed gives him something to do. Then Michael Cole was in the ring. He brings out Jeff Hardy for his 20th year anniversary for wrestling in WWE. All the wrestlers are on the ramp. They do this really great video package. And I want to give a props where props are due. The WWE production team are the best production team on the planet. Where lots of people, don't enjoy the WWE programming, whether it's the writing, whether it's the in-ring product. I disagree about the in-ring product, by the way. I think the in-ring product is really great. Not really great, but good. There's some great talent on there. They're just, the stories aren't always there for them. But great video package. And Hardy cuts a promo, appreciating the crowd for sticking with him with all the highs and lows. Loud thank you, Hardy chant. And then he says, this isn't a retirement speech. This is a let's find out our future together. Fucking sounds like it's a romantic date, doesn't it? Let's find out our future together. Samoa Joe's music hits. Joe comes out, he cuts a promo saying he was at the back drinking some champagne to celebrate, but didn't come out as Jeff shouldn't be around that stuff. And then it says, good job that he made such a great video package as he wasn't coherent enough to remember what actually happened back in the day. And then he says, it makes me sick to have a guy who lets so many people down be put on such a high pedestal in a fucking brutal promo. Hardy then wants to fight now. Joe walks off smiling. I really, really enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It did a good job of, making Hardy look like a star. You got Hardy's 20th anniversary, which I'm sure they're going to make milk some DVDs, merch, and whatnot out of it. So respect that business-wise. But Joe, great promo. It felt to me similar to the CM Punk Jeff Hardy program back in the summer of 2009, which was great. And if you've never seen that, maybe you're a newer WWE fan or maybe a bit younger, go out of your way to watch that. I mean, at that time I was 13. And I remember being like mega into that. That was a thing to watch. It's a great SummerSlam and was a really great match. But yeah, good stuff. I'm interested to see where they go, whether it be at TLC, whether it be on SmackDown. That's the thing. SmackDown has some good stories going on right now, whether it be Joan Hardy, Orton, Ray, Nakamura, Rusev now, AJ Bryan, this women's stuff. It's actually quite enjoyable. And I haven't watched SmackDown Live in a while. Apparently last week's was awful, though. I heard lots of podcasts were going mad about it. Last night's Raw, geez, I don't listen to many people's reviews just because I don't know. It's not that I don't have time for it. Well, I don't, but I kind of don't want to have my opinion become off what other people's are. And so many, clips, so many Twitter tweets just bashing and degrading the show last night. And I felt bad because I looked and I gave the show a loss. But I was like, maybe it's just because I'm looking at, the wrestling and kind of looking at, like, when I watch a wrestling show, obviously I'm a fan, so I want to enjoy it, watch it as a fan. I'm watching, like, little things like a footwork. Like, for me, watching, like, when they do a drop-down leapfrog, I'm watching the footwork. Like, little things for me. So it's kind of, when I'm watching the Raw, quite a lot of wrestling, so I kind of enjoyed it. And, watching the guys like Finn Balor and Seth Rollins and Ziggler, I'm going to be in my element, but I do not saying I agree with what these people are saying, but I understand what they're saying. They made Kofi Kingston versus The Miz, and while we're talking about good wrestlers, Kofi is so damn good. He is fucking incredible. He never botches, never makes mistakes. He's crisp, he's smooth, he's charismatic. You can connect to the guy, you can get behind the guy. I respect him a lot, really, really do. He got the women the Trouble in Paradise after New Day distraction. Curious to see what they do with The Miz. Really am. Then Randy Orton comes out, my boy. If you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton. Comes out to explain the attack on Ray last week. He has Ray's mask in hand. Orton says he doesn't know what the mask means, as he doesn't care. All he wanted to do is embarrass him and take him off this pedestal. Ray then comes out wearing a neck brace. Ray then fights with Orton, but Orton takes him out, taking off the neck brace. And in the ring, Ray with a 619 grabs a chair, and then Orton hits a draping DDT, followed by putting a chair on his throat and slamming him down onto the steel steps, which really, really was brutal. And presumably Orton Ray at TLC chairs match. Makes sense. I'll be up for it. You guys know I'll be up for anything with Randy Orton. Nitpicking. He's selling Ray. Come out of a neck brace. They fought. Orton threw him into the barricade several times with the neck, and Ray didn't sell the neck until he then got put with a chair. Just nitpicking. Then we have a women's battle royal. Winner earns a spot in a three-way at TLC for the women's title. The final four in there was Mandy Rose, Naomi, Sonya Deville, and Asuka. Naomi then launched Rose out, and then Deville hits a running kick on Naomi off the apron to the floor. So down to your final two of Deville and Asuka. Electric Asuka chance. Really, really was loud. And Asuka and Deville had this absolutely crazy 15 to 20 second shoot style exchange, which was fucking brilliant. I really, really want to put it out there how great it was. Like, little things like that, I just absolutely adored it. It looked like they legit tried to kick the shit out of each other's heads. Then Asuka with a pop-up knee on the apron eliminates Deville. So we now have Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Asuka at TLC in a triple threat women's TLC match, which, no complaints from this Englishman. Hard to rate a battle royal, but it was good. It was solid. The crowd they were hot all night. And I like a crowd that, they don't, go against the grain. They stick to the story. They cheer. They're meant to cheer. When I say meant to, storyline driven wise, and they boo who they're meant to boo. It was an alright show. I'm gonna give it a tie. I'll be interested to see what you guys think in the comments. Maybe I'm in a good mood. You know, I've got my Monster Energy Ultra. That's not a fucking. I'm not paid to do that. I'm just saying. I've got my energy drinks and my levels are high. My energy levels are high, so maybe I enjoyed it a bit more. But before we get to live chat, I have my match of the night, moment of the night, and 3 stars of the show, like we do on every kind of recap we do here on Combat Sports News. Remember, this is it's not a review show. You know, that's what they do on Wrestle AM with Dave and Booms. This is a recap show. It's a news show. It's like when you watch ESPN or whatever. It's just a breakdown, a summary of the show. And more importantly, what I want to do with these shows is you can listen to this, take what you want, know what to watch, know what I won't watch. That's what I kind of want to have people so they can kind of skip some stuff they know they won't enjoy without degrading and bashing the promotion. So my match of the night, Usos versus The Bar. Really, really good match. Recommend you guys to check it out. Wasn't as good as Seth Rollins against Ziggler yesterday, in my opinion, but that just got given a lot more time because obviously Raw with the 3-hour program is going to have more time. But it was really, really good stuff. And Usos and Bar, a New Day, 3 of the best tag teams in WWE, so then it's never going to be bad. My moment of the night was Joe's promo on Hardy. Maybe intrigued, maybe excited for a wrestling match in WWE, which is a good thing. And is a good sign of things if you're down on W. You know, try and take some positives away, especially as a fan. I know it's hard. You know, I'm a fine one to talk. I used to go on so many rants and raves. It wasn't even funny. But I thought that was a great promo, and I recommend people check it out. And you may be intrigued yourself over Hardy and Joe, especially when it's personal, and especially with WWE, that they did that documentary on Jeff, promoting everything he's gone through and how he's got through it. And I'm curious to see what they do next week with it, which is another good thing. My 3 stars of the show, Asuka got a big win. She went in 3-way, but not only that, I kind of forgot how over she is. Like, she got big pops, and that's not just her in the match. At the start of the show, she got not as loud, but close to it as Becky Lynch did. So Asuka, one of my 3 stars of the show, she did great. Randy Orton, he's living this heel role, really doing this heel role really, really great. You cannot deny it. He is fucking killing it as this heel. You just want to punch him in the face. He's doing such a great job. Absolutely brilliant. His mannerisms, the way he moves is different. It's just brilliant. It really, really is top draw stuff. And Samoa Joe, from that great promo, the heel heat he got, and you want to see Jeff kick his ass as a fan. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. That's what it's all about. I'm going to get to the live chat, see if we have any live chat. I understand it's a strange hour if you're listening live in the UK. Where are we? There we are. Where are we? Live chat. The Foster Club says, been a while. Have your views on Becky Lynch changed? I don't know what you're talking about. No, I think Becky Lynch is great. Really enjoy her work as this kind of baby face that's a heel. I think it's really great. And again, lots of comparisons to Steve Austin. I understand why. I really, really do. And it just works. It clicks. The way it organically happened with her not getting a shot, getting annoyed, getting more annoyed, and then gradually, slowly but surely, just having it and snapping and just becoming a badass. And she looks legit when she's doing it. And it looks to me like she believes what she's saying. And that's great. And her social media game is fucking great. Like kayfabe on social media, it's just so easy, so simple, but it just makes it that much more believable when you're seeing her on Twitter being, quite douchey and quite arrogant and quite, I'm the man. And then you then think that's her as a person because her social media is like that. And as a fan, that's what you want. You want to feel that what you're watching isn't, a phony character. It is her as a person. You're watching her as a person go through these stories, these changes, these setbacks, these triumphs. I think that's brilliant. I think that's when wrestling's done properly, in my opinion. All right, where are we? Noah Lara, SmackDown was awesome tonight. I agree. I'm going tie. I don't think it's a win, because for me, a win, I want it to be blow away, because I don't want to come on here and say a win, and then everyone's like, oh, this show was shit, blah, 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 you're just sucking up because blah, 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 you don't want to bash WWE because you want a job, blah, 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 blah. Nah, this show's a tie. This was a good, solid show. Would recommend it. It was an easy sit through. It wasn't, I'm bored, I'm going to go on my phone a little bit, oh, geez. It wasn't. It was a short, well, it felt short, good. There was some good wrestling in. There was some storyline developments, and we're on the right track for TLC, especially after lots of people raging at SmackDown last week. Ryan Stewart says, "Is this a one-off appearance?" No, it's not. I have rejoined the channel. I do combat sports news every single day, apart from tomorrow, as I go wrestling training tomorrow. Long day tomorrow, really, really, really long day. So listen to this for a day. So it's 3:30 I won't talk about my actual training because I train, I don't like it. But basically, I have 3:32 a.m. So I'll get to bed about 5 because I had an energy drink. Got to wake up at 11. Got to go to my parents. Got to see my parents for a bit, and then at 12, I got to meet one of the other trainees who drive. We then got to drive to Basingstoke. We got to pick up some stuff. And then we're driving all the way back down to where we train, set up the ring, train, take down the ring, then come all the way back. I'll get back for about 12:01. So it's a long ass day for me, but I'm looking forward to it. I love Wednesdays. But yeah, every day apart from Wednesday, I'll be on here doing combat sports news where we do some recaps. So far, I've covered the DDT show, Raw, and obviously now SmackDown Live. Anna Brown says, for the last 2 weeks, SmackDown has been better than Raw. Okay. Again, I didn't watch SmackDown last week. I won't comment. But this week, SmackDown was definitely better than Raw, and I'm excited for the direction where they're going as a fan. I really do like that. But yeah, that was to answer your question. No, it's not a one-off appearance every day, but Wednesday. I may do a show tomorrow. It just depends, because I'm going to be absolutely tired, battered and bruised, and I don't want to come here and be naggy. But who knows? What else have we got here? Let me take them off. So we get to some UFC news before we get down to ending this show. So if you have any questions in the live chat, please feel free to put them now, and I'll read them and answer them. But a women's flyweight division, they're coming back when the UFC are in Brooklyn. They're at the Barclays Center on January the 19th. According to Brett Okamoto of ESPN, Paige Van Zant will be fighting Rachel Ostovich. It was called off after Ostovich suffered a broken orbital bone after allegedly being attacked by her husband. But apparently she's cleared to compete, and that fight will be taking place again in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn for UFC Fight Night, Brooklyn, Saturday, January 19th. No main event has been announced for this, so stick around and I'll keep you updated. What we got boxing wise, MMA is not really much news wise going on at the minute. There's some fights coming up there this weekend, I know, which I'll have some coverage of. I know on Saturday as well I'll be watching the Tyson Fury Wilder fight. I've now gone from watching it at home to be going to a sports bar with my friends after work. And when I mean like 6 of us are going to a sports bar, and it's going to be brilliant because that's 5 a.m. UK time the fight starts. So whether I'll be with it, I may have to rewatch it to give my thoughts on it on Sunday night. But I'm looking forward to the fight. I'm not going to say I'm going to put a bet on. I'm going to put a cheeky £10 bet on and hopefully win some big bucks. Boxing news. Speaking of boxing, Badou Jack versus Marcus Browne may be heading to the fight on January 19th, 2019 on pay-per-view. It will be announced. It's been announced as the first undercard bout for the Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Browne main event on that big show, and that's according to Ring TV. So if it doesn't happen, I'm saying the source, Ring TV. They're the ones that announced Badou Jack, former British champion, light heavyweight champion. We definitely covered some Badou Jack stuff on KocoSports.net on the website, but that's going to be good. And Showtime Boxing, and it's great. Moronolo, I think he does Showtime, or does he do HBO? I get confused because there's so many boxing federations. It's really tough to follow. But Badou Jack, Marcus Browne should be a good fight. That'll be the undercard first match announced for the Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Browne. Well, that'll be on pay-per-view. So that should be a fun one. So there we go. See if we have any more live comments before we hit the road. Ada Brown says, what's your prediction on the Fury versus Wilder fight? I don't know, man. It's a tough one. As we touched upon on yesterday's Combat Sports News, I think there might have been Sundays. They're doing a Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. That's coming up in January, not January, in the summer of next year. If my memory serves me correct, they're going to be doing 2 fights, one in America, one in the UK. And apparently they're close to making that finalized. So I'm thinking, Wilder, with that motivation of all that money, and again, I'm not saying it's all about the money, I'm really not. But with the motivation, I'm going Wilder, man. I'm going Wilder. My gut instinct is telling me Wilder, and I'm going Wilder. I'm sticking with it. If Fury won, I would not be surprised. Absolutely incredible fight. These two are two of the best boxers on the planet right now. And I think that it's going to be a great fight. I hope the atmosphere is spectacular. I know watching in the sports bar, the atmosphere is going to be amazing. I've the last time, the last time I watched a fight at the sports bar was the Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov. I butcher his name. I'm English. I can't fucking say his name. Khabib. I watched that fight then. It was absolutely electric. That whole pay-per-view, the whole UFC pay-per-view was absolutely spectacular from top to bottom. But there we have it, guys. Thank you guys for watching today's edition of Combat Sports News. I'll be back on presumably Thursday to cover maybe some NXT UK, NXT 205. More DDT have a show coming up on the 30th. The DDT The King Grand Prix starts. As well as the All Japan Tag League, New Japan Tag League as well. But with that in mind, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you check out KocoSports Night. That's KoCSports Nights, where the world goes to kick out, check my combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll be catching your answers down the line.